Next, I'd like to introduce Adam Howarth. Adam is the Community Engagement and Partnerships Coordinator for the Suicide Prevention Program at the Williams S. Middleton Memorial Veterans Hospital in Madison, Wisconsin. Welcome, Adam.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show today.
Good. No, we're really happy that you're here. So, Adam, what are some big changes that have come from the VA from the last couple of years that veterans might not be aware of?
I think one of the big ones would be the Mission Act, and it's an improvement upon the Choice Act, but there were some different tweaks that came out with it this time. And so for folks that do use VA, and sometimes getting all the way into Madison or to one of the community clinics is a little bit difficult to access, that this might allow you to get some care in your community. It might allow you to get some different specialty care that you might not otherwise be able to access. And so I think that's a big improvement for a lot of people, to include simple things like urgent care. If you're not feeling well and you just need to get in and be seen quickly, there is some provisions for that, for people to be able to use the local urgent care as opposed to going into the facility. And so we think that that's a big improvement. Encourage folks to learn more about it by going on the internet. You can go to missionact.va.gov. You can just Google VA Mission Act or even call 1-844-698-2311. And so really encouraging folks to look at that. Another big program that I think maybe folks aren't as privy to might be the caregiver support program. And different counties have different levels, but the VA also has one too. They've recently changed that and started to allow more people into that program. And so if somebody's functioning as a caregiver out in the community, or if you're a veteran and you have a caregiver, go ahead and go to caregiver.va.gov, have a look at that. If you want to just call in, you can call 1-855-260-3274 and get some more information. That could include a stipend. It could be including different respite options for the caregiver. Those are all things that are on the table. I think maybe the final thing that I'll mention is that the VA has continued to add to their suicide prevention programming. That is one of the roles that I fulfill, but it continues to get a little better to include offering some evidence-based programming, some cognitive behavioral therapy for that, and as well as my new position that was hired to be able to go out in the communities and help join some coalitions that exist, if not to stand up some new coalitions so that we can kind of spread the amount of people that can be helpful when it comes to preventing veteran suicide.
Awesome. That's great. There's a lot of good information. Thank you. How does a CVSO differ from the VA?
It's complementary. And so the VA is a federal program. And so it comes from Washington, D.C. and then spread out across the country. And our state VSOs are set up by the state, and they operate out of each county. And so no matter what county you live in, you do have a VSO, and you'll have at least one person in that office. And so I think a lot of the times folks can access some different benefits, and maybe they're not sure if they qualify for different ones. There's some presumptive conditions for Vietnam era folks if they were exposed to Agent Orange. And it's great to go into those VSOs because they can serve as a veteran advocate. They can get a power of attorney to where they can help you with your claim status as you move that through. And so VA enjoys that. I think one of the ways that VA also does something similar is we do have a transition and care management program to where we can offer somewhat similar of a function to where really helping folks engage with the healthcare system and making sure that they know everything that's out there. And so I encourage folks, whether you go to the VSO first or come to the VA first, those are two good stops to make on your path.
Awesome. Wonderful. How has your VA adapted to the challenges of providing mental health during this pandemic?
Oh boy, it's been a tough one. So, we've been in the pandemic for about a year now. And I remember sitting in a meeting last March when I was working out of a mental health clinic, and we basically sat down and looked at each other and said, now what? We're all going to be working from home. Things have to change. The VA was pretty fortunate that we already had a pretty robust telemental health system and telehealth system, and we built upon that. And so helping folks be able to access their physicians and their mental health providers like this and through video conferencing software. And the good thing is that the VA's product already has end-to-end encryption, and so it's a safe product for people to use. On top of that, our VA here in Madison really quickly kind of shifted and started to offer group therapy that way. And so we really quickly spooled that up, offered a really robust amount of stuff, and we had a lot of people attending those group therapy options. And so that's one of the big ones. And if somebody's sitting there right now thinking, well, I don't really have a device to do that, well, the VA kind of stepped up for that too. And if you talk to your mental health provider, they can put in for a digital divide consult. And what that could do for you, if you qualify, is it could get you a tablet or a smartphone so that you can access the treatment that you deserve.
Awesome. That's great. The VA seems to be working to address the public health issue of veterans dying by suicide. Could you tell us more about what the VA is doing today to keep veterans safe?
Yeah. So the VA, they already have suicide prevention teams built within the hospital, and they're doing a lot of stuff already. They're really trying to make sure that all the mental health providers are at the leading edge of the evidence-based practices that are out there. And so they've continued that, and facilities have continued to make that more robust as they do. But in addition, they've hired my position that I'm going to fulfill, and that is kind of rolling out across the entire country over the next couple of years, is the community engagement and partnerships coordinators. And the goal there is, one of the primary functions is to be a part of the governor's challenge. And so in the state of Wisconsin here, our governor has participated in the governor's challenge. That process is in probably about year 2 right now. And it's starting to make some pushes for different legislative changes and things like that. And what it really does is it brings a lot of people to the table to figure out how to solve this issue. And so we're lucky in our area, we've got our state VA who is really leading the way on that, and we're a part of that. And beyond that, we're starting to establish coalitions in different counties. And on top of that, we're starting to join these additional coalitions out in different counties so that we can maybe bring some of the military cultural competence that maybe doesn't exist yet. And if it's already there, then to continue to support it and help sustain it.
Awesome. Last question I got for you today, Adam. What's the best way for a veteran to get contacted with your office?
With our office, for the Office of Suicide Prevention, I would say to call the facility. It's 608-256-1901. I'd also encourage you to look us up on the internet, to look up the William S. Middleton VA Hospital, and you can browse through there so you can look at the directory to really target the specific program you're looking for. And so I'd listed a couple national numbers for some of our programming earlier, like with the Caregiver Support and Mission Act. And you can start there, like missionact.va.gov or caregivers.va.gov, or just come and look up our facility and reach us from there.
Awesome. Well, Adam, thanks for being here and gave us a lot of good information. We really appreciate having you. So thank you.
Yeah, definitely. We appreciate what you guys are doing there. I think a respite for veterans is just a great thing to have, a place people can go if they're in crisis or just need somewhere to be. And I can't thank you guys enough for standing that up and creating events like this.
Yeah, no, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Peter.